Welcome back. In part 2 of solving multi-step equations, we're now going to look at solving equations with variables on both sides of the equal sign. Don't forget that when we're solving equations, our objective is always the same. We want to get the variable that we want to solve for on its own on one side of the equal sign. All right, think first, plan out the best and most efficient way to solve the equation, then act. All right, let's get started with the first problem. As I've said before in the previous video, there are different ways you can start an equation. One of my preferences is to, whenever possible, try to get the variable on one side of the equal sign as early as possible. In example number 1, I can achieve this by subtracting 4r from both sides. This will leave me with 4r minus 2 equals 14. And then from here, it's just like any other equation. We'll add 2 to both sides, leaving us with 4r equals 16. And then divide both sides by 4. And we can see that r equals 4. So that's the way I prefer to do it. Some people might have subtracted the 8r from both sides instead of the 4r. Other people might have added 2 to both sides first. It's really no right or wrong, but my personal preference is just to get that variable on one side as soon as possible. Here in problem number 2, I think perhaps the best way to start this problem might be to distribute the 4 to the 5x plus 1, and on the right side of the equal sign, distribute the negative 3 to the 5x minus 5. Now when we do that, we're left with 20x plus 4 equals negative 15x plus 15. And now this is very similar to problem number 1 in that I can get the variable on one side right away. And I'm going to do that by adding 15x to both sides, leaving me with 35x plus 4 equals 15. And then we'll subtract 4 from each side. That's 35x equals 11. And then we got to divide both sides by 35. And I know that many students I've had feel uncomfortable at this point because the 11 cannot be evenly divided by 35. That's okay. We can't always divide everything evenly. And in this case, we're left with x equals 11/35. There's our answer. Now in problem number 3, I'm going to do something a little different here. So a lot of students prefer to have the variable they're solving for on the left side of the equal sign. And I, in fact, did that with all of the problems I did previously in this video. I'm going to do something a little different here. I'm going to subtract 7x from both sides. And when I do that, I'm left with negative 90 equals negative 6x. Now, I've done this to highlight that that is an option. You don't have to always have the variable you're solving for on the left. And you have to remember that this is going to end up being negative here, right? Because when you do 7x minus 7x, that would really leave you with 0 minus 90, which is negative 90. So now that we've done that, we're going to divide both sides by negative 6. And our answer is x equals 15. So there's our answer. I just wanted to show you that you can actually solve the equation with the variable on the right side of the equal sign. So there you have it. That's how we solve equations with variables on both sides. In our next video, we'll look at equations that have one solution, infinite solutions, and no solutions, and how to identify them. See you in the next video.